This is going out to all of my brothers and sisters of Black America who understand that we are under European attack. And for all of us that feel like we're alone, nobody understands, and we are surrounded by house Negroes. I'm talking to you. You know, you sit around and we hear all this white noise everywhere we look, everywhere we listen. It's just nothing but a bunch of white noise. House Negroes, European terrorism. I mean, just name it. You know, you have all of these people walking around right now talking about everything but what's important. You know, it kind of makes sense to me now. I kind of understand, you know, the problems that, you know, Malcolm and Martin and Marcus and Harriet ran into. You know, you don't just wake up one day loving black people. Either you love your people or you don't. That's not a fucking light switch. That's not just some shit you decide one day, oh, I like my people today, but fuck them tomorrow. We are surrounded by house Negroes. When we were on plantations, when we had Black Wall Street, we come from inventors, we come from creators, we come from people who innovate. The civil rights generation basically raised a bunch of house Negroes. That's basically what we're seeing. The civil rights generation raised a bunch of butt-kissing, boot-licking, tap-dancing Negroes. You run around and you hear all of these things about, you know, how black people act. Our men, for example, our black men, for the last 40 years, we do not create builders, nation builders. That's why when you speak of separation or reparations, you have so many Negroes against it. Why? Because they are not builders. We no longer have builders. We no longer have nation builders. Black scientists, we don't have any of that. Why? Because they're too busy butt kissing. All of our real brothers and sisters, they killed them. Anybody that stood in defiance of European terrorism, they killed them. And we've allowed these house niggas to flourish, because basically that's what you're seeing. When white people realized that even back in slavery, when they realized that they had a large section of Negroes that loved them, no matter how they treated them, they took full advantage of that. I'll say it again. The civil rights generation didn't give us shit. We don't have builders. We have twerkers. We have Negroes with tight ass pants. We have broads with pink and purple wigs on. The reason why so many of these people are terrified of reparations or even talk about it, terrified of separation, because they are unable to build. Most of us, I hate to say this, would probably die if we separated from Europeans. There are a lot of us that would have no problem separating from your terrorist. But there are thousands of these Negroes that were taught by their mothers and their fathers to be footstools. Look to your left of you. Look to your right. I'm pretty sure the way you live, the way you think about white people, and this love that's been taught to you, it doesn't feel right. You don't understand it and you don't know where it comes from. Well, look at your parents. Look at your boot licking, butt kissing parents that teach you, no, we don't need another Malcolm. We need a LeBron. We need a Kobe. We need a Michael Vick. We need a Shannon Sharp. Why do you think you see all these Negroes laying up with these white folks? Because the white folks bred these Negroes. The white folks beat their love into these Negroes. Now they're just running amok now. They're everywhere. We don't get, think about it. As black people, we don't get rocket scientists. You know, we don't have parents that teach how to be about Malcolm or Marcus Garvey or any of that. Most of these black parents in the last 40 years have taught their kids to be butt kissers. The only time you find a black person who feels fearless and strong and tough is when they're fucking with another black person. Because we have allowed these house Negroes to flourish like weeds. We no longer have a yard with green and grass. We now have a yard full of weeds. The civil rights generation, they literally destroyed, they caused what you're seeing. They told us to love white people, go to church. Love white people, go to church. Don't grow up to learn how to fight, defend, protect, build. No. For the last 40 years, you've heard black bees and kill your brother this, and you know, all these rap songs. I mean, think about it. The house Negroes are everywhere. We don't get people with sense. We get all of these butt kissing Negroes. Who do we get? We get the 50 cents, right? We get the TIs. We get the Megan the Horses. We get all of these idiots. That's what we get. That's what we get. And as black people, we think we've been programmed to the point where that's okay. That's okay. It's okay to be the butt of the joke. That's okay with so many black people because they are okay. They're okay in their present condition. Why? Because they are unable to build. If you look around you, look to your left, look to your right, we don't have nation builders. We have twerkers. We have rappers. We have no talent actors and actresses. We have European lapdogs all among us. Everywhere we go. Look at the church. Look at the 501c3 terrorist organization called the Black Church. They are part of the European terrorism. You know, I was raised around religion, churches, my whole life. All the church is a terrorist organization. That's it. They breed more gutless, spineless Negroes. They continue to build or breed these weak ass people. We as black folks do not have nation builders anymore. We are surrounded by fucking butt kissing, boot licking Negroes everywhere you look. How, as a black person, can you speak of European terrorism? Because I don't call it what they call it, what them Negroes call it, white supremacy. Now, man, ain't nothing supreme about a white person. Okay. The only thing besides being white that a European terrorist has over us as black people is their violence. There is nobody more violent than a European terrorist. Nobody. No matter what they say, no matter what they talk, no matter what kind of shit they try to shove up your ass. Nobody is more violent than the European. Nobody. But then you see all of these shootings and these black on black violence or these encounters amongst black people. These Negroes were bred to be this way. These white people know exactly what kind of Negroes they created. Why do you think they killed the Malcolms? Why do you think they killed... Look what they did to our Black Panther brothers and sisters. They murdered them, and the rest ran for their fucking lives. Why? Because the house Negro has never been dealt with. We have had traitors among us for 500 years. And the reason why the monkey show doesn't fucking go away is because as black people, we are gutless. Not all of us, but most of us. Most of us are not willing to get rid of traitors. Your aunts, your uncles, our fucking traitor ass cousins that's laying up with the fucking white man looking at you like you ain't shit. We have traitors everywhere, and as a group of people, we have not figured out a way to deal with them. If we get reparations, and you know I've said this before, all of this butt kissing, boot licking, this whole clown show goes away. It goes away. As black people, we will no longer be punching bags. We will no longer be footstools for these people. But I guess until we learn to deal with these house Negroes that are among us, look to the left of you. Look to the right. Your friends, your family. How many of y'all recognize the red flags? You see the house Negro, but because they're your friends or your family, you refuse to address them. We have to get past this. You have to be willing. You know what? If we had a Wakanda, right? Like, you know, like they play on our intelligence about Wakanda. If we had a true Wakanda for black people, these house Negroes would not exist.